Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another SnapRetail Accelerator. I'm Vince Ventura, and today we are going to be talking a little bit about a topic that's old and new again, the Facebook photo album. Now, I know a lot of people have been trying to use this feature and having no success, not even mixed results, but no success. And there's a very good reason for that. Recently, Facebook decided to change their API, and an API is basically how you can take some features of one system and put them into another system like SnapRetail. So Facebook decided to change this and what people are allowed to post, which, of course, they didn't come and ask our permission or approval or anything. We would have been a little bummed to find out that Facebook photo albums were no longer able to be scheduled and posted. Okay, so that's a big deal, right? That's a big change. And we have this whole Facebook photo album option here that you can use. What do we do if we can't schedule and post Facebook photo albums anymore? Well, it seems like there was a bit of a workaround. We are actually able to use Facebook photo albums, maybe not in the way that you were used to, maybe not as seamlessly as before, maybe a little differently, but we are still able to use them. So today, I thought maybe we would talk briefly about what the new Facebook photo album process looks like, what it can do, what it can't do, and how we can incorporate that into some of our marketing. So, as you can see, here we are on the calendar page in SnapRetail. I hope if you're on this webinar, this looks familiar to you. This is a sample account. This isn't my account. It's nobody's account, really. It's an account we use a lot for testing. And so I don't know what we're going to even find in the deep corners of this account, depending on how deeply we go. But we should probably take a look at these Facebook photo albums. So let's click create, and we're going to select Facebook photo album. Now, all of this looks the same, right? It looks pretty much the way you saw it before. On the back end, the whole connection with Facebook is different. In fact, you may have seen when you logged into SnapRetail recently, a pop-up instructing you to reconnect your Facebook account in SnapRetail, mainly because we've changed that connection. And so it's sort of kicked everybody out of the old connection. So if you're still on the old connection, that one's not working with Facebook anymore. And all you have to do is click update on the account page in SnapRetail. And before we go today, I'm going to write myself a note to cover that as well, because I think that's important too. So before we end today, we'll talk about how to reconnect your account if you haven't done so already. But the reason we need to reconnect accounts is because we have these new Facebook photo album features. What we would do is we would title the album something. Let's say newest album. Now, here's where we're going to do it in a way that might be a little not correct. So this is a brand new album in this Facebook page, this Facebook account. It doesn't exist. So if I try to create a new album and add whatever photos I find here, hopefully you'll be a little bit more specific when you're choosing photos. You're going to see when I try and schedule this to post, it's going to give me some pushback. API does not support creating a new Facebook album. You can create a new album on Facebook or use an existing album title to publish images. Okay, that's a lot of information there, right? So there are three different things that happened essentially, or three different options for us to move forward with this album that I'm creating. So it's a new album. It doesn't exist on the Facebook page as it stands. And we can take a look at that right here. We have tonight's photo album, Facebook photo album, profile pictures, number 2 image SEO, and there's a few others in there too. So newest album doesn't exist. We cannot create new albums on Facebook through this connection any longer due to the changes that Facebook has implemented. Okay, just gonna caption that or bracket that one more time. We are no longer able to create new Facebook albums when you schedule a Facebook photo album in SnapRetail. Okay, but that does not mean that we can't create a Facebook photo album on Facebook and then send something to it. And that does not mean that if an album already exists that we can't publish to it. So let's take a look at tonight's photo album. So these are all the images in the photo album, tonight's photo album. It looks like it's from 2017. I don't know what it was specifically created to test, but we got a whole bunch of images in here. Let's try adding those images to that album as well. You can see I have all my albums copy and pasted here so we can do this quickly. So now the album title, which is visible to your audience on Facebook, is changed to an existing album title that's already on my Facebook page. Let's see what happens now when I schedule these posts or these images to post. Facebook photo album with this title already exists. Do you wish to add these images to the existing album? Why, yes, I do. Now I'm able to schedule Facebook photo albums, and we've thoroughly tested. They won't fail any longer. They won't give you any kind of trouble if you're connected to Facebook. And so we're really excited about this. Now, you can easily create a new album within Facebook, or you could schedule to an existing album. I know that's not always going to be the most desired sort of outcome there, but you can certainly create an album in Facebook if you like. There's a ton of albums in here. So you should be able to do this fairly easily within Facebook. Now, the other thing that I would say with this is we need to make sure that your account is currently updated in a way that will allow you to complete the post on Facebook, as opposed to having that post fail. Like I said, we changed the whole nuts and bolts of the back end of how Facebook talks to SnapRetail, and more importantly, how SnapRetail talks to Facebook, which is sending your posts. So since we changed that, you may still be on the old connection. And there's a good way to tell. Unless you've actually done the update process with Facebook, you're on the old connection. There's no self-updating. It's not like some people have it, some people don't. So you, business owner, you webinar attendee, need to take action to update your Facebook account, or you're going to start seeing failed Facebook posts that were previously scheduled. And that includes the photo albums, which is why I'm kind of bundling this all in here together. So to update your Facebook page, and you'll have to excuse me, let me log in as myself here because I don't have the login credentials for the demo page. So we're going to log in as me. So once you've logged into your account, I'm going a little too fast. Once you've logged into your SnapRetail account, click the person icon in the upper right corner, then select the word account. This is going to bring you to your account page where all of the nuts and bolts data about you lives. While you're in here, it's always good to give a once over and check the business information. I have some demo text in there that could probably be removed, that's for sure. Check your website, make sure everything's still good. Your phone number, did that change at all? Have you moved during the pandemic? Anything like that. You can even give a look at your reply to email addresses. Does that person still work for your business, or is there an email address out there getting all these replies that nobody's monitoring? So once you scroll down to the email and social media accounts, you'll see the Facebook icon. You'll also see a Facebook icon down here, and you can see mine is not connected. There's a reason for that. That would only be for logging into SnapRetail if you wanted to log in with Facebook. My Google's connected. I can log in with Google if I wanted to, and I have my username and password. But on the whole, I tell customers to typically not worry when that says not connected, because there's no feature that you're missing. If you can log into SnapRetail, and I assume you can if you can see this page, you don't need to worry about that Facebook icon. This Facebook icon is very important. This icon up here is the one that allows you, if it's connected, allows you to schedule and then more importantly, post to Facebook. So we need to update this. Now, there are two ways we can do this. If you want to be like super cautious about it, you could disconnect. Let me show you what update looks like, and then we'll disconnect the whole thing and then we'll reconnect it. So we'll click update. It's going to tell you, and this is very important, that we are going to be linking with your personal profile. But what we're doing is we're looking at your personal profile to make sure that you are an administrator on a business page. Once we've kind of scanned and identified the pages that you're an administrator on, we'll give you the opportunity to connect to those business pages, and we're never ever going to post to your personal profile. So I feel comfortable clicking the green connect button. Now it's going to redirect us to Facebook, and it's going to say SnapRetail is requesting to post to your account essentially. And you can choose what you allow. if you like. I think they all have to be pretty, they all have to be checked. But if you have multiple pages, this is the reason I stopped here on our tour. If you have multiple pages that you manage, it's going to give you the option to say, oh, I don't want to manage that page with SnapRetail. I only want to manage this page. So make sure the page that you want to manage is selected. The rest of these should all be like, yes, we can, manage comments and things like that. We don't have that feature, but I just don't want to give you information that would screw up the connection process. So make sure your business page is available, and then you can check the box next to it, and you'll see all the pages that you are an administrator of and your personal profile. And then you'll have the opportunity to say, I want it to be this page. And then you can connect. It's been successfully linked. And just so you all know, I do run a small theater company. I run a performing arts company here in Pittsburgh, and that's my actual honest to goodness business page. So let's disconnect this just so you can see this process as well. Updating will work, but if you really want to be careful, or if you're seeing errors after you've updated, I always, always, always recommend clicking disconnect. It's gonna be like, hey, are you sure you want to do this? You're not gonna be able to post anymore. You can always reconnect, but right now you're out in the cold. Yeah, we want to disconnect that. Then we'll scroll back down. Just click the connect button. Same message. We're not going to post to your personal page. Click the green connect button. Then it's going to bring you back to Facebook. Since we already went through that process where I allowed it to find my pages, it's not going to show that to me again. But there we are. We're successfully linked. It's super easy, and it's really important that we make sure that these are now updated and ready to go. Yeah, so now you can, in fact, post to your Facebook page successfully, but moreover, you can post photo albums successfully. You would either need to create the photo album within Facebook previously, or if you have a nice sort of collection of albums already, you can augment them by scheduling more images to go specifically to those albums. Now, I oftentimes say get asked, how much is this used? How much are businesses using this? And in marketing, a lot of things, it just depends is my answer. And I know that's so unfulfilling for folks, but your business is your business. Like my theater company has such a small local market. Your business might be selling online and can ship globally. I don't know. Maybe you only have a pop-up store that's only open a few times a month. These are vastly different situations than somebody who's been running a jewelry store in the same location for 75 years. So when it comes to Facebook photo albums, how I would use them would depend on your business. But I can say, broadly speaking, at my business, we have specific projects that we do. So we're doing plays. If we do a play in May and then in August, each of those are going to have production images from that play. And much like some of the businesses here, in retail, it's a very visual business. You want people to be attracted to the product. Same with theater production. These images are how we sell our products, how we sell our tickets. So we'll have a photo album for each production. So we would create that ahead of time in advance, and then we can schedule to it when it's appropriate when we have those photos. So if you have an event coming up, you can do preparation photos and then augment that later with actual event photos. If you have an expert coming into your store, if you have a new product delivery, you can create albums for all of these in advance because these are all planned events. You don't just wake up one day and go, you know what, we're having a 500-person event in store. I hope this goes well. That probably won't happen. And booking an expert to come in, very rarely would they just pop into the store. You'd have time to promote it. So anything that you will be promoting as part of your marketing process to prepare for that, when you create your Facebook event page, when you create your posters and have them ordered, when you change your cover photo on Facebook, go ahead and create a photo album for it. It doesn't matter that there aren't photos in there yet, and that will give you the ability to be proactive with SnapRetail, schedule the photos to fill up those albums in advance, and really tailor it to your business. For jewelry stores out there, maybe a before and after gallery where you upload photos of maybe 2 from before the ring was fixed or repaired, 2 after, or 2 before it was cleaned and 2 after. You could do, if you're resetting things for an engagement, hey, I brought my mom's ring and can you set this stone for my new fiance? You could do before and after. Those are great ways to do that as well. You could, if you're doing like personal shopping, or if you're doing retail, if your customers are really, if your staff is a really happy customer, maybe they want to do a before and after with the photos as they tried them on, or after they've tried them on. So there's plenty to do with these photo albums. But again, like I said, it breaks my heart to say it, but every business has to get creative with how you can have planned content that fits your brand, your store identity. What does it feel like when I walk in there? And that fits your audience. Where are they? How do they operate? If you have a super trendy retail store that services 18 to 25-year-olds or 18 to 30-year-olds, they may not even be on Facebook. You may want to turn these resources over and put them into Instagram, or things of that nature. So you have to know your audience, you have to know your brand, you have to know your sort of store experience as well. It's part of your brand, and you have to know where all of those things kind of best fit. But that's pretty much it for today. Just to recap, at the highest of high levels, Facebook has changed how they handle photo albums. We have to comply with that. The way that we comply with that is allowing you to send new photos to old albums or blank albums that you've just created directly on Facebook, that you can then use SnapRetail to schedule those photos to appear in. So you can only schedule to existing albums, but you can go ahead and create an album to then schedule to it later. So that's a change. You used to be able to create albums directly in SnapRetail. Unfortunately, Facebook won't let us do that. Aside from that, the other really big important takeaway is be sure you do the update process on your social media connections from time to time. Just a heads up, in the future, Facebook's are also requiring us to renew people's connections every 6 months. So when you think of it, set a calendar reminder, or next time you got to change something in SnapRetail, just be sure to go ahead and click on that update button. And then you'll be able to make sure that that connection stays fresh and not interrupted. And the other thing is, because it's a security feature, they're not telling us when that person or anyone is going to expire. So we just kind of have to play it by ear and encourage everybody to update every month or 2 or 3. Every 3 is safe, you know. And then lastly, how to use the photo albums is, I would say anything that would require a marketing plan should be a step in that marketing plan should be to create an album on Facebook for it. So if it's an event, if it's a sale, if it's a promotion, if it's an appearance in store, if it's sort of a long-term project, even like a week-long, bring a friend week or something along those lines. If it's a ladies' night, whatever it is, create an album for it. Create it in advance, and then you can fill it in later. All right. I'll give you a few minutes here, a few seconds, I should say, to ask any questions you'd like. I'm happy to give them a quick answer. You can always chat into service. In SnapRetail, if you ever need to get to service, you can always click this blue question mark icon here up in the upper right corner, and you can leave us a chat message. You can try and dig around in the help center. Oftentimes, 90% of the time, we have that answer for you in there, unless it's related to your subscription or unless something's broken, goodness gracious. Or you can shoot us an email as well. We're pretty quick on getting back to those. You can always reach us by phone as well. But honestly, I think that we're a little quicker when it comes to chat and email, just to give you that heads up. But yeah, feel free to reach out if you have any other questions. It doesn't look like any questions are coming into the chat. This video will be available for replay, so you should be able to check it out in just a few minutes, hours perhaps. If you have any other questions about what we covered, and if we didn't cover it, please do let us know. And if you don't want to click on the question mark, it's service@snapretail.com. I'm Vince Ventura, and I want to thank you for joining me for this month's SnapRetail Accelerator, and I look forward to seeing you next month, when I think we have some pretty big news coming out. Spoilery kind of thing here, but yeah, keep posted to your mailbox, your email, if you haven't already heard the big news. We should be letting you know within just the next couple of days about some new features here at SnapRetail. All right, everyone, have a great day, and I look forward to working with you as you need.